You are already ahead of 90% of the people if you can just communicate confidently, and it's not that difficult. But why do people still fall under that 90%? According to research, 60% of the people say they can't speak confidently. They get shy and awkward during conversations. Among them, 90% of the people cannot communicate their thoughts properly. But research shows in 2025, communication is one of the most important skills. It's proven that if you get good at it, you attract good people in your life, your relationship with people improve, you stand out from your peers, and more than that, you sound charismatic and you become much more confident. When I started YouTube, I wasn't this confident. To be honest, I had very low self-esteem. Whenever I used to communicate with someone, I didn't know what to say. I used to feel like, oh, what should I say next? But now I think I'm different. But now I think I'm confident. I think I have certain changes. I can talk to people, I can talk to cameras, and I have good relationships with the people. And this happened because I started to communicate confidently. So in this video, I'll walk you through 3 steps that will help you to speak like a pro. First, we'll go through some of the beliefs that is holding you from being better at communication. Second, we'll go through how can you articulate your thoughts at a given moment. When you're talking to anyone, you're doing public speaking, you're talking to cameras, how can you articulate your thoughts instantly? Third, and this is the most important one, we'll go through the framework that will actually make you better at communication. The third one is the most important one. The first is, we think that in order to improve our communication, we need to talk to large number of people. Even we need to talk to thousands of people to become better at communication. And this is false. This is a limiting belief. This is not true. This is the main reason why we don't start, why we don't want to improve our communication. Because we think, I need to talk to many people to become better at communication. But that's not true. You can become better at communication without even talking to 100 people. And that's the same thing I did. I think I'm decent at communicating with anyone, in front of cameras, in front of people. And this didn't happen by talking to thousands of people. I didn't even talk with 100 of people. And this we'll cover later in the video. So the limiting belief is that if I want to sound interesting, then I need to talk more. I need to express myself. I need to be extrovert. I need to laugh. I need to crack jokes. I need to be the loudest in the room. And that's not true. I used to believe that the most interesting person in the room are the extroverts, who talks more, who cracks jokes, who makes fun of others. And I used to find, these guys are so charismatic. But I was wrong. The most interesting person in the room are the most interested persons, who listens to others, who smiles, who gets excited in small talks of others, who nods their heads when someone is talking. So always remember that if you think you need to talk more to sound interesting, and that is holding you to become interesting, then that's wrong. If you want to become interesting, just listen. If you listen to someone, you'll automatically become interesting to that person because you listened his words. Don't only listen, smile whenever they are talking, and ask thoughtful questions and get interested in their talk. Always remember that communication is not to attract people. Communication is to connect with the people. When you try to connect, you'll make every talk about them. And when you talk about others, when you talk about them, then they love talking about themselves. You love talking about yourself. When it comes to communication, don't try to attract. Try to connect. Be authentic. Be you. Ask about that person. Ask how was their day, and just get interested in them, not in you. While watching these videos, you may have 1,000 different thoughts going in your mind. But when it comes down to saying that same thought that is in your head through your mouth, we mumble with our words. We say, I don't know what to say. This all happens because we are very good at thinking, but we are very bad at talking. So in order to articulate your thoughts properly, the only thing that you need to do, there are thousands of ways, but the basic thing that you need to do is you need to connect your mind and body together. And that can be done by these 3 steps. The first step is to connect your mind and body. From now, whenever you have any thoughts going in your mind, just don't think. Try to speak it. If you want to connect your mind and body together, then you can't just think in your brain. You also need to clearly talk about it. If you have any spare time, 5 minutes, 6 minutes of gap, just talk to yourself. Don't only hold lots of thoughts in your mind. Whatever thought is going in your mind, just speak it out loud. Even to motivate yourself. Swami, today you didn't wake up early in the morning. And it's okay. You said you'll wake up early in the morning and you didn't. It's okay. You still have your whole day. So throughout your whole day, you can be most productive. You can talk to cameras and give your best. So give your best, Samir. This is one chance. I just motivated myself. This was a thought that was in my mind. I just speak out. And that's how you connect your mind and body. By speaking the thoughts that's in your mind through your mouth. This basically means that every day record yourself talking to cameras for 5 minutes. But wait. There is a correct and incorrect way to record yourself. And I did for very long time in an incorrect way. I used to record myself every single day in front of cameras in this tone, in this way. So what happened? Though I sound much more confident in front of cameras, but now I was not charismatic. So there is a good way and bad way of recording yourself. And you don't want to sound confident but not charismatic. You don't want to be monotone. And this thing you can avoid by talking to cameras in a proper way. And that is by following the framework. But before that, you won't articulate your thoughts properly if you don't think to provide value to that person. Until and unless you don't talk to anyone, either in front of cameras, anyone, by thinking to provide value to them, you won't be authentic. When I started YouTube, this is the problem that I faced, that initial days I used to feel if I need to grow on YouTube, I need to make people inspired by me. I need to make them feel motivated. So I need to talk in such a way that people love me. And I used to say lots of things that I never wanted to say. I used to take my hair now and then. I used to look at the script. I used to say, oh, I think I should not say that. I'll say something different. And I was just trying to attract you. As I said before, I was not trying to connect. And this is the problem that most of us have. When we talk to anyone, we think about ourselves. Oh, is my hair looking good? We think, am I saying the good thing? Am I saying the great thing? Is my words good or not? Yes, this happens. This happens to everyone. And this, you need to remove this. You need to remove this. And this can be removed by just thinking, I'm here to just provide value. So whenever I talk to cameras, now I don't think, oh, am I sounding good or not? No. The only thing that I think is, am I providing the value? So the continuous thoughts in my mind is, oh, am I providing the value or not? And if I'm providing the value, that's great. So don't try to attract, don't try to sound good, just try to provide value and just be yourself. Say the things that you truly believe. If you say the things that you truly believe, then you'll be articulate with your words, you'll sound charismatic and you'll sound real. In this point, we'll go through 8 points that will actually make you confident when you talk to with anyone. Either that's public speaking, camera confidence, or you are talking to a person in front of you. You'll sound charismatic. So first is pacing. You don't want to sound monotone, right? We don't want to sound monotone. We don't want to sound boring. Most of the lectures that we hear in college are boring. Why? Because the teacher is monotone. They are speaking in the same tone every now and then, and it sounds boring. And you don't want this. So if you want to sound charismatic, this is a trait for charismatic, then you need to improve your pacing. Once you talk faster, once you express something faster, it sounds you're confident. You truly believe in what you're saying. You're passionate about it. And once you slow down, it sounds like something important is coming. And you need to mix this. Sometimes you go faster. When something is non-important, when you're saying something that is not truly important, just go faster. But once you want to make something sound important, just slow down. And this will make you much more charismatic. Notice, sometimes I'm going faster, sometimes I'm slowing down, and mix this and you create a hook. Whenever you talk, that person thinks, oh, this guy talks in such a good way, because you have pacing. Second is loudness. Okay, listen to me first. If I talk in this way, no matter whatever I'm saying, it does not sound confident. I don't sound confident. But if I raise my tone whenever I'm talking to cameras, I sound confident in whatever I'm saying. So if you want authority in anything, then just a bit be loud. Don't be insanely loud, but talk in 5 to 6 level when you are talking, just like this. And it sounds you have authority in whatever you are saying. This is a very basic one, but this is most important when you are talking to anyone, even in front of cameras. When you give a smile, whenever you are talking to any person, that sounds good. That person really likes you because they think, oh, this guy is positive. And you sound like, okay, this is the guy that I can trust because he's smiling. So the third point, if you want to sound charismatic, smile. This is a very basic one. No one says this, but this is very important. The most interesting person in the room is the most interested one. Until and unless you don't understand this, you won't become better at communication. Because you think communication is to talk more. We think communication is to attract people. We think in order to communicate effectively, we need to say something that we never want to say. We need to crack jokes, no, just listen. So listen 80% of the time, talk 20% of the time, get interested in others' talk, smile when someone is talking, get curious, ask thoughtful questions, and be yourself. Make people feel heard. Because once people feel heard, once you listen more, first, you learn more. Second, their face lights up because they only get to talk about themselves. And you're just listening. Okay, just ask questions. You automatically become interesting.
Look, we understand what you do at Zoom is great. However, you're more expensive than your competitors. Yes, but the reason why that happens is because we spend a lot more on R&D than them. We've got way more features. Yes, and the reason for that is because we invest a lot more in R&D and we have a lot of features, as you can see. So when you say yes, but to someone's concerns, you're negating their concerns. It takes the conversation into a negative direction. You start to get defensive and the other person starts to feel defensive too. Whereas when you say yes and, you're saying, I acknowledge what you're saying. Whether you agree with it or not, you're saying, I acknowledge what you're saying and we'll build on top of that together.
When you say yes and, that person feels heard and you also keep your opinion without having any type of controversy. Yes, you said it right and this is my opinion. That's how you go. A communication becomes better if you think before what you speak. If you don't give instant opinions to someone, whenever someone says something, if you don't give instant opinion. So most of us, when we talk with anyone, we get caught up in this thing. Don't know what to say. Oh, this guy said this thing to me. What should I reply? Even with in front of public speaking, we are giving presentation. The problem that we have is we talk very faster. Like we try to finish it as fast as possible. We try to give our point as fast as possible. And that sounds like, oh, this guy don't know what he's speaking. So the communication becomes effective when you think and say. Notice this. I'm not saying anything, but still there is depth in my words. Why? Because I'm taking pauses. I'm thinking before I'm saying. Your brain is trying to process what will he say next. So you are creating a hook in their mind. So whenever you talk faster, whenever I'm talking faster and I'm trying to express everything that I have known and everything that I'm saying faster in this way, then yeah, you try to process it. You think, oh, this guy is good, but I didn't understand what he said. So when you take pauses, they get time to process that thing. Thought, whenever you're talking, you don't know what to say next. And you take pauses and then you exactly know what to say next. So it will give you time to think. If you want people to listen to you, then the only thing that you do is whenever you end a sentence, end in low pitch. When you end the sentence in high pitch, then it sounds like command. But when you end a sentence in low pitch, it sounds like you're just talking to them. You're friendly. So whenever you are giving any personal experience that you had in your life, any trouble situation, any past experience from which you learned a lesson, you can just lower your pitch. But whenever something is exciting, just increase your loudness. So play with the voice. Low voice basically means something is personal is coming. And if you have a high voice, it basically means that you have energy. 7. Speaking is done before even you speak. You become charismatic even before you speak. And that's through tonality. That's through your facial expression. That's through your hand gestures. If I improve my communication in this way without moving my hands, yeah, I sound good. I may sound decent, but not as good as this. Not as good as moving my hand. If you only talk without any hand gestures, any facial expressions, you sound like a robot. And people don't find you honest. People don't listen to you because you are not moving your hand. But once you move your hand, you sound much more confident. You sound trustworthy, and whatever you are saying, it sounds important. This is from the research. You may think, okay, this guy said good points. There were limiting beliefs. Okay, I'm able to remove that limiting beliefs now. Okay, I'm able to be articulate with my thoughts. I know exact points. I need to be loud. I need to have pacings, melody, tonality, smile in my face. That's look good. I need to listen. I know these all things. And I think now I'll be better at communication. But you won't. That's the reality. Until and unless you don't practice, it's very hard to be better at communication. It's very hard. It says that practice makes man perfect. That's very true. In my case, I was that same guy. that same guy who used to feel nightmare when I talk to cameras. I've said this lots of time, I guess. I used to record 5 hours, 6 hours to film a video, and I used to get 8-9 minutes of clip. That was really trouble for me. I used to feel like, oh, this talking to cameras, like worst nightmare. I don't want to do this. And that was tough. That was really tough. Because I didn't have practiced. I was very shy talking to people, like confidently talking with someone. I was not good at it. And the person who can't talk in front of people 1v1, how can he talk to cameras? But now I sound confident. Pretty much confident when I talk to cameras. And this all happened because of practice. When you talk to cameras, just try to stick a point. If you're talking about this mug, then just talk about this. Don't mix this with book, with AirPods, with papers. Don't mix the topics. Take a one point and just talk about that for 5 minutes and do it every single day. Today you talk about books, tomorrow you'll talk about pen, Day after you'll talk about your life experience. But take pauses whenever you talk. Be confident. Sometimes go faster, sometimes slow down. Just don't talk in monotone. But it all comes down to, are you willing to practice every day? Are you willing to talk to cameras every single day? Communication is one of the most important skills, and most people are very bad at it. If you can become good at it, then you'll automatically sound good. You'll automatically achieve lots of things in your life. And when it comes to communication, don't try to attract, try to connect. The most interesting person in a room are the most interested ones. So listen more than what you talk. And at some point, you may start a YouTube channel. You can start a YouTube channel, or you can just record yourself for 5 minutes in front of cameras and upload it on YouTube. But don't expect more, don't expect views. This is just for yourself.